Let's Talk About It podcast is sponsored by Goosehead Insurance, servicing clients all across New Jersey. What's going on, guys? I have a special guest here. Her name is Jasmine, but I call her Jay Lopez because she has JLopez Enterprise. But before we go into that, I want to let you guys know I am a direct lender that loves lending, have many options when it comes to first-time home buyers or move-up buyers. Again, this is what I do. I love it. However, I love Let's Talk About It. And because of my special guest today, because of my special guest today, we're going to do Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk.
What's up, Jay? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. So
Enjoying the summer.
You are? Hey, that's what summer's about. Are you, when it comes to summer, do you take vacations?
I do. I
Okay.
take a lot of vacations. I feel, well, there's a reason behind that.
Mm-hmm.
They say that you make the most money when you're at your, when you're resting.
Right.
So I feel like that's been piece of my recipe has
Right.
been to take as many vacations as possible. And next week I leave to the Philippines.
Yeah, I saw that. You were talking about that. So, Jay, your compass is interesting, right? You went from emergency room, helping people, to now helping those in the real estate world
I know.
monetize their growth. Can you expand on that a little bit, please?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything happens in life for a reason.
Right.
And one of the things that happened back in 2011 was my daughter got diagnosed with a brain tumor. And I was a nurse at the time. And I
Right.
really felt like, hey, I was being asked to come to work when my daughter was having chemo. This didn't feel right. So the anxiety and all of that and just not feeling right about coming to work just stirred something up inside of me that I need to do something for myself. And what is that? I really didn't know. But I knew I didn't want to work and I want to be an employee. Fast forward to 2014, I got an opportunity to leave work for a year with
Right.
full severance. And as I was out, I built a small company and we ended up landing the famous Tony Robbins like as our first client. So
Okay. The
I felt
famous
pretty
Tony
cool.
Robbins. Okay.
I know. I felt pretty cool. And
You're so humble about it. I felt pretty cool.
but it only lasted a year and then I
Okay.
went back to work.
Okay.
And then after I did that, I said, when I had left him, he said to me, you have a marketer's brain. So knowing that, I said, well, what's marketing? And I just started to study and read books. And they say if you read 36 books a year, you have a master's degree. So I read a lot of marketing books and I took a course. Jay Lopez, I don't know if you know him, but a lot of people kind of know who he is.
Okay.
But he's like a guru marketing guy
Okay.
with the Ferraris in the garage kind of person. And he
Okay.
had a marketing course and I took it. It was like my last $3,000 I had in the bank.
Your last 3,000.
Seriously. I had like $3,000 in my savings and that's what I used for that course.
And you
then-
believed in yourself.
Yep. And I built a 6-figure business in 6 months.
So, Jay Lopez, you're responsible for this growth.
He knows. I'm in his YouTube videos.
Oh,
He
there
uses
you
me
go.
for advertising.
Oh, the success is real.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He actually had lawyers look into my bank account to make sure that the money that I said I made was real. So he looked at my
Okay.
transactions, and then I got invited to his house,
Okay.
and there was 30 of us. It was like the 30 of something in 2017. I remember I went to his house, and we had a great time. And then from there, I just kept building my business, and it just evolved into what it is now, which is
Okay.
ISA services.
You know, that people talk that talk. You hear it. People say, "Oh no, it was given to you. This happened this way." You're selling me something that you just don't even believe in yourself. The fact that you took your last earnings, $3,000, coming off on an emotional roller coaster because the part was I need to be there for my daughter. Understanding the Robins that you had conversations with, to turn around and say, look, I believe in myself. I'm going to maximize this. The conversations that you were having with your conscience, I'm pretty sure was never easy. To do what you do, to do what you did to get to where you're at today, that's such an accomplishment. And,
Thank
like, that's like that woman power, right? And that's what everybody, that's what most women want, right?
Yeah.
Most women want the fact that they can believe in themselves and do what they choose to do. I'm no psychiatrist, trust me. I'm not trying to say I'm speaking on behalf of women, but I am raising daughters. And I love when I bring on women business partners to talk about their excellence, because that's another reason why my daughter, can look at their success and say, look, dad had someone on their show talking about how they grew. Let me I can do the same thing. And I share that. Sometimes they have to see it too.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're talking about what you took as your last earnings and put it into the enterprise you have today speaks a lot. So I want to give you the flowers right now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's a big deal.
It's funny because a lot of people will say and congratulate me, but even me being in my shoes, I'm like it doesn't seem like a big deal, right? Which is crazy to me. But then sometimes I'm like, wow, I really did this. Like, I really built this. But it really comes from when I hear other women or other entrepreneurs ask me, how did you do it? I really want it more than I want to breathe. So you have to want it. Like I said this morning, my daughter had a seizure. I'm still here.
Right.
You have to want it that bad. There's no excuse. And that's the way when she was in the ICU, I had my computer right there and my family criticizing me. And it wasn't about money. It was about success and leaving a legacy when I'm gone. And so that's really, I live that way. I literally every single day, I want it more than I want to breathe. Every single day. So the consistency, the discipline, the execution, the reading, the education, the self-education is on another level for me.
And we were speaking behind the green room where my daughter went through those same experiences your daughter went through, and now your daughter and my daughter are going to be hanging out.
I know, that's pretty cool.
Right, it's this, I can't emphasize, having more conversations could lead to better opportunities.
Yes.
So that's going to lead us into...
I feel like it was like a reward for me to come, and then your daughter is like...
Yeah.
Because I always look for like a friend for my daughter. I'm like, can I find a friend for her? Can I get her excited about something? You know, because she's just hanging out. You know, she hangs out with me. And
we live in the same county, so the access to getting to hang out a lot more will be there for sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. Wait till my wife finds out what just happened today. It's really interesting. So, Jasmine, you cracked the code with ISAs and helping professional realtors grow their platform. How did you do it, and what does that look like for those that want to be part of your platform? Yeah,
so I quickly identified back a few years ago that realtors don't like to use the phone.
How you be a realtor and not like the phone?
I know. Some don't like using the phone. Some like it, but just don't have time to do it.
Okay.
So one of the things is, you know, delegation will help you grow, right? So from their perspective, if they delegate, they'll grow. And from my perspective, if you solve a big problem, then you'll grow. Your business will grow.
Right.
So I identified a huge problem, which was, two big problems. One was agents not finding the time. Another one was agents just not liking the cold calling. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing, and it's an actual skill.
Right.
And then also realizing that they were being scammed a lot. Like every time I spoke to an agent about lead generation, and when I first started the company, it was all Facebook ads. Like, oh, I'll do leads for you, right? But then I realized they're not calling the leads. So I continued to solve problems.
Right.
But a lot of the agents that came were like, oh, you're another scammer. Oh, you're another one that's going to take my money and I'm not going to get a return on my investment. Right. And I really wanted to change that. So I made a promise to myself that if I create a company with an ISA service, it's actually going to get you a return on your investment. Right. You know, and I'm going to get to the point where I can guarantee, where now I almost can guarantee. But the only thing I can't guarantee, the reason why I can't fully guarantee that people will get
someone
more,
not put in the work to get to where they need
yeah,
to.
And we see agents that, you know, they'll literally pay for our service, we get them appointments, and then they hide, because they didn't call anybody back. Right. So, but yeah, it's just been evolving over time. Again, just sticking with it, the consistency, the discipline, understanding, keeping up with the trends in the industry, and really getting my team to a point where it's like riding a bike for them. They are on the phones all day, every day.
And I love what you said, the consistency, right? Because you've seen these past 2 years, real estate has changed drastically, right? From the time you started thinking about doing the ISA to where you see it today, the laws, the percentage of realtors that are in the business now, right? So, you know, of course there's concern to be scared because of what going back to what you said earlier with the scams and everything. If I give you X, will I get the Y, right? And that can be challenging, especially when you're not making the money you should be making, right?
Right.
And so it is an emotional roller coaster. But to that point, how do you convince, not guaranteeing, because anyone can guarantee something, but how do you draw them in emotionally to let them know, like, if you follow this template, this what success will look like on the other side.
Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and not many teach agents about cold calling. They'll
Right.
pretty much give them a list and say, hey, call these people. But there's a lot of strategy that goes behind
There
that,
is, yeah.
that they don't get taught.
Right.
So by the time, even if they've been an agent 20 years, I
Mm-hmm.
get agents that come to my calls and they're like, where have you been for the last 10 years of my career? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a strategy that I help them with alongside of a great cold caller, but on top of that, a team. Because it'll never work if you go to Fiverr and you hire one ISA. You may get lucky, but chances are the ton of agents that come to me like, oh, I hired an ISA. I spent all summer trying to train them and I got one appointment, so that doesn't really work. So when they come to me, they really see the system. So systems, processes, and people. They see the system, they see the process, and they see the people. And on top of that, they get me as the strategist that shows them what this looks like, how we're starting, how you're getting
Right.
the appointments, and how you're going to get more listings. And it just makes logical sense. Any business in sales, including mine,
Right.
we fill a pipeline.
You show them how to curate it, because it's not just like to what you were saying earlier, you can calling and I'm going to get this person. No, Jasmine has trained these professionals to train you to be better, because sometimes you even need training during these calls.
100%.
Because everybody thinks I know it all. I'm like, no, you don't.
It's a skill.
It's a skill, right? And you have to deal with some of these adversities to comply with, like, how do I stay on this path
Right.
to monetize what Jasmine's providing for me, her company. Like, so I'm pretty sure those conversations you're having with your ISAs from wherever they're from, you're like, hey, with some of these agents that I bring on, at some point they're asking for services, but sometimes you have to train them how to ask me for my services too, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's an interesting conversation
Yeah,
at times.
a lot
right?
of times the agents
Okay.
will say like, hey, I got my first few appointments, now what? I'm like, okay, I've never been an agent before, but I know how to speak to people. So this is what you're going to say.
Okay. Let's Talk About It podcast is sponsored by Molson Law LLC, servicing clients all across New Jersey. And so when you see that happen, how do you deal with some of those conversations with those who are who are getting value, but they don't see it, but there's some resilience? How do you combat that and give them, here, this is what it looks like, and if you follow these steps again, this is what the other side's going to look like. How do you
Yeah,
go
again,
about that?
with them, it's all about consistency. So
Right.
I have, for instance, one of our clients now, Russell McCormick in Indiana. People can look him up. He actually started with us last year in July, and he was a newer agent, and he was so scared. He's like, I'm going to go in and invest because I know I'm going to do well. And now, every time I turn around and look at his channel, he's like, opportunity, going for the listing. I got the listing. This one's turning into a short-term rental. He built a new company out of working with us, which is buying homes for short-term rentals.
Right.
But from that consistency, from calling back leads, he was the one telling us, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. For the first 3 months, he didn't get a listing. And then all of a sudden, he was like, I have 2.6 in the pipeline. I have 3.2 in the pipeline.
Okay.
He kept updating us, and he's like, I'm getting so good at this. Now, it's so easy for him.
Right.
We set the appointments. He calls them. He's in the door.
Usually when the scoreboard reflects that, everything looks easy, right? You're monetizing what you put out there. Your values, it's your value. It speaks for itself. At the end of the day, when someone's looking to list their home, they are looking to see your performance. And if you don't have that number, why would I feel comfortable listing my house with you?
Right.
And that's going back to what you're saying, keeping consistency, providing conversations. And then I'm going to assume a lot of this stuff is within classrooms that you have within your enterprise, right? When
Yeah,
you speak
so a
about
lot of it,
sharing the wins and how to grow from that, right?
Yeah. So we meet a lot with our ISA team. We meet every day, twice a day with our ISA team, and they set goals for their clients, which are their agents.
Right.
And then we monitor the number of appointments and all of that. And an agent can never come to us and say, hey, I'm not doing well in your program because of you. Because we'll quickly turn it around and say, and actually it's because of you.
Right.
Because we know our numbers, we know our average number of appointments, we know what kind of appointments we've gotten them. And all agents, it's funny, we've tested it. We've given one agent the same appointments. One will convert it, one will get hung up on.
Wow.
So it's really clear that it's the agent who really does the conversion. We're really good at opening the door, setting the expectation, selling the agent, selling the appointment, the conversation,
Right.
with an intent to sell, which is the key.
Which
They
is the
all
right.
have the intent to sell. And then, of course, the buyer side. The buyer side is the easier side for us. That's why I barely talk about it, because it's actually low-hanging fruit. Buyer lead generation, it's all a numbers game. That's really what it
Low
is.
hanging fruit by side. That's when you know you do what you do best, right? When you're like, it's a low hanging fruit. I mean, I promise you, there's a lot that can use that low hanging fruit right about now, right?
Yeah. The key with buyers is that follow up is a killer.
Yeah.
Because buyers don't have the decisions they're making takes longer.
Right.
So it's usually like a 2-year decision versus like a seller is like a couple of months or maybe a year. They already know when they're going to sell. Their motivation is stronger.
Right.
A buyer's motivation is like, I need to, but not right
Right.
now. Like what credit score, like how much down payment, and that takes a long time.
Right. I need to work on successfully 3 months ago. I worked with this buyer for almost a year and a half, and every opportunity I can give someone the option. Someone give them the key to shelter. I appreciate it, but this one felt special, right? Because I went to the open house. They were hesitant with some of the things. We had conversation, kept going back and forth. They wanted what the options would look like. Clearly, a year and a half, numbers were always changing because of the rate, right? And so they believed in me, and it was so rewarding when they finally got the key to their house, right? Because they started off speaking one way about, I'm going to do this product, I'm going to do this. I'm like, this is a terrible idea because of the market we're in, because homes, you're buying a house sight unseen, right? There's limited concessions you can do. The market is shifting a little bit now, but at the time we handled this transaction, they were a little nervous. They were, apprehensive with some of the things. But I said, look, if you have the house, your decisions could be done easier. You just got to come up with this amount of money and blah, blah, blah. And there it is. You'll have it. And it was really rewarding. It was like one of those things, like you walk out the house, you're like, yo, I did that. I did that, right? Like one of those things. You speak of JLopez Enterprise. So we are in the tri-state area. But Jay, you are helping someone in Indiana. So that means you work in all 50 states, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you, with different time zones, are you still able to provide that value if one lives on the West versus Midwest and East, or you have different regions within your enterprise? How's that set up like?
No, so we actually, a phone call is a phone call regardless. So no matter where we're calling, the approach is the same. It's just the time zones that's the difference. Now, the biggest piece when it comes to New York and New Jersey is the personality. So we match the personality.
You mean you feeling yourself? You feeling yourself? Go ahead, say it. You feeling it. I know, I'm good. Like,
yeah, you got to be tough in New Jersey and New York. So our ISAs for New Jersey and New York are specific.
Okay.
Because you have to be able to deal with the objections, and New Jersey people are tough. New York people are tough. Staten Island, Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx.
I'll share this with you. I think New York is tougher than New Jersey. New Jersey act tough. But
right.
Because
That's true.
Sometimes
we always say we're from New York, but we're really in Jersey.
Yeah, I'm like talking like you acting like especially some that are working on that Hudson area of New Jersey. Like, yo, I'm with the swagger. You're like, bro, you're not from. Stop. You're not from New York. Don't even come with that. Like, you need to stay that way, right? So sometimes you gotta put some people in check about their attitude. So that's a good thing. Let's Talk About a Podcast is sponsored by Real Estate Title, servicing clients all across the state of New Jersey. So Jay, when you're not providing value for your business, what are some of the things you'd like to do outside of JLopez Enterprise?
Yeah, I'm intentional with raising my 8-year-old right now.
Okay.
So really looking at her in a different view than I did in the past, because I wasn't in entrepreneurship or what I really want her to do in her future. And that's really what I spend besides vacationing with my kids, I'm intentional with all 3 of them, but the 2 are older, the 25 and 21. But really trying to show them the world, because I wasn't able to do that before. And then really raising an 8-year-old right now in where we're living right now, these times, is not easy. But she goes to a different type of school. We don't do public or Catholic school. She has no grade levels, no testing. It's basically most of the parents in the school are entrepreneurs. There's only about 12 kids in the whole school. So it's a different way of learning, pretty much. They teach you how to learn, how to think, and she's already had her first business built, and she's camps of all types, etiquette camp, golf camp, like they do so much together because it's like a little family, a little community.
So when you're growing that's the conversations you want to
Yeah.
have in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be around that circle of where you can find place for your kid
Yeah,
to get
everything
that
changes.
education, where you're not thinking, when's the next check coming? right?
Yeah.
It's just, and
Yeah.
I when I spoke to you 2 weeks ago, you were like, I just made this. I'm sitting down like, she a baddie. Like, you guys was like, I'm like, you did that, right? And again, it's just, you're like, you're numb to it now. It's almost, when I say numb to it now, it's like you're numb to it because it just rolls off, right? And I'm like, yo, Jay did this.
Yeah, it's really interesting what you feel as you're growing, but the one thing I always want to remind myself is to be grateful, right?
Right.
And teach my kids to be grateful, remind them where this all started with my parents coming here from Colombia,
Right.
And just being present,
Mhm.
and seeing that things are, and every day, like I get surprised by a new phone call, a new email, a new connection, something big is coming. I just got my new, I just started business consulting and I got my first big contract with 9 surgical centers in New Jersey. And I'm like,
Oh, that's
oh
up.
my God, I truly know about business that I can go out there and tell some CEO
Right.
that makes 10 times more than me what he's doing wrong.
She's talking her business consultant business on Let's Talk About
Yeah,
It.
I just got my first contract, so
I
I'm
love
working on
it.
my second one now.
So we are breaking things on Let's Talk About It. I love it. I love it. So Jay, can you share a story locally that you helped that realtor grow their platform?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, it's funny, we have about 5 or I don't know, honestly, probably 7 agents in one office of Keller Williams. I won't name the specific
Right,
office
but that's
in
good
New
enough,
Jersey
yeah.
because sometimes I try to get
Yeah, you don't wanna
testimonials
put-
out of them.
yeah,
And they're like, I don't want anybody to know.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm like, all right,
it.
but I always tell people who meet with me, agents who meet with me, I'm like, if you want to speak to any one of our agents, I'll give you their phone numbers,
Right,
one-on-one.
right, right.
But publicly, I
Fair
try to
enough.
protect them.
Right.
But definitely, we have, like I told you, Russell McCormick in Indiana, he has no problem with me naming him.
Right.
Gary Paparov in Staten Island, he just listed $2.7 million home and 1.7 in May in 1 month. I know.
okay.
And yesterday, we got a $10.5 million building in Brooklyn.
10.0.
Gregory Diaz, Premier Properties. Yeah, so I
718
don't make
where I'm
up.
from.
I don't
Okay,
make up
love it.
numbers.
No.
Yeah.
I love it.
So a lot of big deals come out of one call. It's not that hard anymore. So I always, when agents come to my calls and they're like, "So, how do I work with you?"
So-
I'm like, "Just here's the program. This is how much it costs." I mean, you're going to get deals as long as you're good. If
Right.
you can sell water to a well, I want to work with you. That's what I always say.
JC always said that I sell water to a well.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's the way it should be. If you're confident and you can go to a marketing presentation and kill it,
Right.
that's the agent I want to work with because we're going to create the opportunities for them to do that.
You just have to believe in what I'm going to give you.
Right.
Right. And one of the biggest thing, they talk that talk and we all see it, and we get motivated because we see certain things on social media. At the end of the day, you gotta put in that work. It's to a point sometimes, I get nervous talking about what I'm doing because I wouldn't say it's accountability, but more or less it's like, if I have enough time to talk about it, why don't I just do the shit, right?
Right.
I have these conversations and I'm like, well, part of what I do is to enlighten those, hey, look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Best believe that I'm putting in the work.
Absolutely.
But-
and you still have to, you got to stay putting in the work.
Right. It never ends. And especially when if you don't have this conversation, next month may be a challenge because you won't be able to satisfy some of your liabilities.
100%. I always say anything takes 90 to 180 days. The conversation you had today may convert in 180 days.
Right.
You have to keep it up.
And that's just one funnel of it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you have other facets of how can you partner up with JV with somebody to, grow that part of another business, right? Because remember, when you're an entrepreneur, it's good to think of one thing, but in the beginning, most importantly, cash flow is important.
100%.
So sometimes you have to ask yourself, if you're not successful in doing it in this way, how can I generate a little bit of income that way without too much time committed, right? Because at the end of the day, time is valuable. So you have to know how to maximize it to grow your platform. So I always feel like when you're starting out a business, I was speaking to the young lady yesterday. She's doing this, she's doing that, and she's still doing real estate. I was like, how do you have time? She said, Jim, I don't have a choice. And that's the one that you want to work with, because you know ultimately she's going to grow her platform.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were talking about her yesterday. I'm like, she has real estate IQ. I feel bad that she has to take on a second job.
Yeah.
I always feel like there's something, if I can just give her that bag and be like, yo, we good. We're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Right.
Let me hold your hand and let's go make it work. I would 100% do it. That's how much I believe in this person. But to your point, you got to be consistent. You got to be willing to put in that work. And especially, and there is no excuse, because if you took what you had, which was your last earnings of $3K, and you were dealing with emotions of your child because you needed to be there, I'm pretty sure every time you were going left or right, it was like, oh my God, am I making the right decision?
Oh my God. And not only that, I short sailed my house in 2018. My house was short sailed. I had a property, a single family home. I wasn't living in it. I had tenants, and the tenants stopped paying rent. And I couldn't afford to pay my rent and that mortgage. So my friend said, just short sale it. So I short sailed it. And then 3 years later, I bought my dream home.
So it can be done. This is,
so people think life is over because they're foreclosing or they're short selling. It's just getting started.
Right.
Like that's an exciting time when something goes bad, because there's only one direction to go, and that's to get better and grow.
You just said something that many need to pay attention. It's exciting during rough times.
Yeah.
Because what's the opposite?
Right.
And what are you gonna do? Do you call it quits? Go 6 feet under?
No, you can't.
You can't. There's so much more out there. There's so much more living to do. You just gotta believe in yourself.
100%.
Oh man, I didn't even know all that. It's good that this is not rehearsed. We're not doing anything like that. We're speaking of truth, because I want many to know how you change lives, right? I want many to know, like, when you talk about having this, it wasn't because, I did something, I didn't believe it. I just believed in myself. I knew what I wanted. I have what I have, and this is what success looks like.
Yeah, and it's having a lot of patience. I feel like a lot of people get frustrated, but it's those baby steps, because progress is progress.
Right.
But we wait and we're like, I gotta make $10,000 by tomorrow. I gotta make $100,000 this month. And it really doesn't work that way, because you're actually blocking your blessings, because you really have to have the faith in your work and your consistency day by day. Just work it. It's gonna happen. It's coming.
It's the same thing when you're making a call too, right? You gotta have patience, right?
That's it.
If it's one and done, then what are we really doing?
Yeah, exactly.
You're going back to the client you helped in Indiana.
Right.
I mean, he had to have patience to get to the numbers he's doing right now, right? And we always talk about, like, oh my God, it's gonna be. When I say oh my God, we expand on our success sometimes, knowing that the success was from inception, from the time you decided to say, I wanted to do this, I want to do this, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna grow, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna grow, to what you're saying, the pattern that you had to do to get to where you're at today. And next week you're going to a country, to a different continent, shower success, and you're sharing that with those who help you get there. I'm not gonna go into detail with it, but I really commend you for that. I mean,
thank you.
To wake up and say, no, Jimmy, I'm going there. I'm going to give my partners a piece of what success looks like.
Yep. Yeah. It's so exciting, and they're so excited. I can't wait for, just to be there and have an opportunity to share time with them. That's really what I want. Quality time, because I'm really grateful to them. They're the ones that did it.
Right.
And I really look, that's another thing. Like, people are so surprised that I'm doing that. And I'm like, well, isn't this something you're supposed to do? Right? But a lot of them, I'm super grateful. A lot of them tell me they've worked for big companies. They don't get anything. Not even a sweater, a T-shirt. Like, never mind the CEO coming out to hang with them for a weekend, So
That's I like I said, I follow you. I'm not calling you every day, but I know when I am calling you, I have a full wealth of flowers to give you because of I've watched you. You know, you've had these stories on Facebook. You talk about what you did here, how'd you get here, how'd you move here. I'm looking to do this, and you're not shy about it at all. You've never been shy about. I mean, that's why I know so much about you because of the fact
Right.
that you're like, I'm gonna open up, and you're gonna judge me regardless. At the end of the day, it is what
I
it
used to
is.
say nobody pays my bills with an opinion of me.
Yeah, that's important. That's a good. Yeah,
If
I like that.
anything, people are always going to judge anything you say
Right.
or place. So let them judge, but there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to support you and send people to you.
Right.
And that's really what happens for me is I lose friends. Every level requires separation. So you're always going to lose people on the way. But at the same time, you're going to gain new people.
I was speaking about that to Neil, right? Cupcake carriage. And if you're not gonna have my cupcake, at least just share it. Just let people know that I
Yes.
exist, right? That's the littlest things you can do to help my business do what it does.
Share a
I'm
post.
grateful. Yeah, share a post, and that's all you got to do, right?
That's
And
it.
but unfortunately, sometimes
Yeah.
we have to deal with those challenges. But it makes you stronger. But at times you're like, come on, like you're like you see me, you see me out here, you see me putting in that work. It just takes because maybe I'm not reaching that person, but because you are able to share my story with that person can get some of my services, right?
Yes.
Because again, going back to what you're saying, it comes back to gratitude. Like
I
you
feel
just
like
appreciate,
I'm
right?
so at peace and just calm with gratitude. And like, and what they say is like you manifest, right?
Yeah.
I believe in manifestation to a point, but without execution and procedural knowledge, manifestation won't come to fruition. So I'm very careful with what I manifest because the work has to come with it.
Right.
So recently I was saying, I kept verbalizing, like, I need a new room of women who make 10 times more than me.
Right.
And I just didn't know where it was going to come from. And all of a sudden, like my friend that was in a room sitting with me at a barbecue, I follow her on social media. She has a lot of people. And it happened to be hot outside. And we went inside the house. And I'm like, how is it that just me and her are inside of this room with AC, but everybody's sweating outside? Like, wouldn't everybody come in? And I thought, okay, God, you want me to speak to her now. And I never wanted to use her platform or pick or ask her. And I did. And from that simple conversation, she makes like $10 million a year. From her simple conversation, she's pretty much I'm on projecting for next year, my business is going in another direction because of her. One conversation.
It's already there.
It's there.
It
But I
is,
had to
isn't it?
talk. I
Yeah.
manifested it, and then I had to talk and open my mouth.
Right.
And it worked, and she was so kind. And to this day, she's texting me every day. Here's an email. This is the connection. This is what they need. Here you go. Like, it's unbelievable. And now these women, 40 million a year, 100 million a year, like the people she's connecting
Mel
you with.
Robbins number. Mel Robbins number.
Yes.
Like she talks about that story too. She speaks of like, going to law school, going to Ivy League school, around, doing what she did, having a husband, build a business, watching it fold, bankruptcy, using the last credit card, living a lifestyle that she could not accommodate at the time because they were draining, losing money. And now she doesn't call herself a motivational speaker. She's solution, right? I'm just gonna say Mel Robbins is solution, right? But to the point where, to what you're saying, right? You had a conversation with someone going into an air-conditioned room, manifesting like, this is my shot. I'm gonna take it. This is like, and you're like, oh, I'm going in. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I got
And
it.
it worked.
And now your business, just doing
One
that.
simple
Yeah,
conversation.
Jay, your business is there. You just got to apply those principles. It's there. You just
Yeah.
got to apply the principles.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
No, I don't.
It's so true. I teach my kids that all the time. My daughter, even just at restaurants, I teach her when she says, Mom, can I get ice for my cup? I go, what am I going to say? She goes, closed mouths don't get fed. Okay, go ahead and ask for your ice yourself.
The power of having daughters.
Right.
Wow. And to your point, I mean, like, again, I can't say enough about, I'm so proud of you, what you're doing. I'm so
you.
proud of how you're growing your platform. I'm excited to be in your platform at some point. Hopefully I
Yeah.
can handcuff some of the relationships that you have. And, I too can spring from those opportunities and take it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my whole, like, I just put, one of my girlfriends just quit work because I got her a contract. Just today, before coming here, I got another one of my girlfriends. She'll probably be leaving work, and I'm getting her a contract. So really just sharing the wealth, sharing what I'm doing with people around me is really what my goal is to do. And I love doing that. I've always loved just sharing and connecting people.
So keep in mind, all she's doing this, dealing with adversity on a personal note. So when you're, talking that talk, just understand there's always someone who's doing worse than you, but also keep in mind you can want what you want, you just got to apply. And that's what Jay Lopez is all about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming
You're
on. Let's talk
welcome.
about it. I appreciate your time.
I'm so glad you invited me.
No, I as the show grow and I'm getting better and having to have conversations with professionals like yourself, this is what I envision. Previously I had Brandon, we talking about monetizing, making, like, people are gonna know who Jimmy Mortgage is. They're gonna know what Let's Talk About It is, because I feel like I have the tools. Let's grow. Like, why are we stepping back?
Huge.
Like, right, the risk. I took the risk.
Yeah.
Right? I ran. I was in the red for a while. Those that believe in me, Jason, Irv, other people, they said, yo, dude, you got something, man. Just go rock out. And I'm doing that because of the success that they believed in me.
Yeah.
And me making that call, because I gotta call you too, right? I gotta be like, yo, Jay, you gonna come on the Let's Talk About It? And I'm like, huh? Yeah, she said yes. Yeah. And this is the second time, right? Because you were sick the first time, but it's a calling, because the second time I'm better with how I can ask you questions properly to make sure you get the value you need when it comes to Jay Lopez.
It's always timing.
Yes. So again, Jay, thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk About It.
Thank you for having me.
One's looking for you. Where can they find you, Jay?
So I'm on Instagram at JLopez Enterprises is the Instagram. My Facebook is JAY Lopez, my personal Facebook. We're currently in the process of rebranding, so we will be scalable, powered by JLopez Enterprises. And then eventually JLopez Enterprises will fall off and it will just be scalable. So that's the goal for 2026.
I love it. Others, if you're looking for Let's Talk About It, just type in Jimmy Mortgage. I'm on your favorite streaming platform, Apple, Spotify, you name it. Just type it in your Google search. Let that cookies follow you, because that's what we're all about, growing and sharing. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Hey, listeners, are you looking to improve your home comfort and save on your energy bills? Let's talk about Seal Power. They've been awarded Energy Star Sustained Excellence Award, seen on Good Morning America, the New York Times, and World News. Seal Power is dedicated to keeping your home cozy while saving money. Check out their website for tips and incentives and more at CIELPOWER.com. Stay comfortable and save with Seal Power, where comfort meets efficiency. Follow them on Instagram for updates and more, and Let's Talk About It as well. Thank you.